Hello, everyone, and welcome to our HR podcast on HR Champions. Today, with us, we have one of our extreme guests called Gaurangi, who works at Reliance Retail. So, let's start by having her introduce herself. Gaurangi, can I please request you to introduce yourself to our audiences?
Sure. Thank you, Surekha. Hi, everyone. My name is Gaurangi, and I'm a part of the Reliance Retail Central HR team, and I take care of leadership mandates across Reliance Retail. Overall, I have 20 years of experience, and I've worked across HR, verticals. But talent acquisition remains my passion and my forte.
Great. Gaurangi, with your varied experience and a last array of companies that you have worked for, can you share with our audiences in terms of the recruitment landscape in the last decade? Has there been any change? Do we see a difference in the way we recruit as organizations?
Yes, of course. Previously, definitely use of technology has, improved a lot. The way we screen candidates using, AI tools has gone up quite a bit, and it's a relief for the recruiters as well because most of the mundane activities, like pre-screening the candidates based on their education, location, the basic skills, has become much easier, and it has also increased the talent pipeline, because most of the organizations are still working on a remote basis, which definitely gives you access to a larger talent pool. Also, nowadays, post COVID, I think organizations are open to consider roles, open to consider candidates for advisory roles, especially for leadership and niche mandates. So again, the talent acquisition landscape has definitely changed for the better.
Okay. Gaurangi, you said a very important thing which has been, on my mind since quite some time, with regards to the use of AI tools and AI technology in the recruitment world. When I started my career,
Right,
it was all written, and we kept the database of candidates on an Excel sheet. But things have changed drastically.
right.
So,
Yes,
do
definitely.
you think that the AI tools are a boon, or the human element is definitely the key to success for a successful recruitment strategy to work for an organization?
See, it needs to go hand in hand because AI tools definitely is a boon. Like I said, to pre-screen the candidates based on the basic skills, location, etc. But beyond the point, definitely the candidate needs a human intervention, human interface. Also, the from the organization perspective, human interface is important, because beyond a certain point, the candidate also needs to know more about the organization, its culture, what is the role that he's going to take up, what is the kind of people, what is the kind of team that he's going to engage with. And from the organization perspective, the organization needs to know more about the candidate in terms of his abilities, like personality, more about the personality, like whether he is of a leadership material. I mean, whether he'll be able to take on leadership roles, whether he's a team player or prefers working as an individual contributor. Such skills are difficult to gauge through AI. Definitely, there you need human intervention.
Okay.
So, yes, it's a mix of both, if you ask me.
Great. So that brings me to the next question, where you said that the expectations of candidates are, very different nowadays. They want to know more of the role of the organization, a sense of
Right.
culture within the organization. So do you think that there is a difference in terms of what the current Gen Z thinks of when they are applying? To what or what I applied, say, 10 years back when I was seeking a job for the first time?
Sure. So younger candidates, I feel today they need more of a happy workplace, challenging environment. They need a mentor, a leader who can guide them on their growth path. Okay, so these are the basic things that they look for when they kind of run for a job. Of course, compensation plays a very huge role. Definitely, that is one of the criteria that they would consider. Whereas, I think maybe a decade back, or during our times, we used to look for more stability, more whether it's a reputed organization, whether I'll be able to kind of be engaged for a longer time. So stability was a major role. Also, nowadays, I think people who are in their 30s or 40s, maybe family status plays a very large, criteria while considering a job switch. So yeah, the preferences have changed for the younger generation, definitely.
Great. So that brings me to understand that culture building is very important for an organization. So how do
Right.
you think, that any organization, what are the three things that you need to do to build culture even before they join the organization and beyond as well?
Yeah, so firstly, I think transparency is very important. Transparency in terms of communicating to the candidate about the policies, the procedures, the culture about the organization, the growth path. So informing everything prior the candidate comes on board, that's very important. Firstly, transparency. Secondly, smooth onboarding of the candidate is also very important. And thirdly, I think charting a very definite growth path, where and sticking to it. Maybe giving few examples of how previous candidates have actually grown in the organization. I think these three things are very important to build a positive culture, and that augments employer branding as well, I feel. So that automatically helps in employer branding when a candidate applies for a particular job.
Absolutely, really well said, Gaurangi. So Gartner calls this creating a sense of belongingness, the expectation of
Yes.
the Gen Z, the fact that they expect not only to be felt wanted within the organization, but also the
Sure.
organization to do certain things which are in alignment to their core value system as the human being. And this is said to be very important in the current, young workforce. So keeping that in mind,
Right.
I wanted to ask you that how important do you think communication for an organization is vital, right from the interview to offer, onboarding, and beyond. Uh, Initially, when I joined my career and started it, the communication with an organization would be only after you join in. But right now, I can see a drastic
Right.
change within organization. So, can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, sure. So communication is very vital, right from the point when you approach a candidate till the time the candidate is onboarded, and even after that. So nowadays, since the scenario has changed drastically, we definitely have a person who is the only touch point for the candidate, during and who takes him through the entire onboarding process. So the candidate always will have queries in his mind about the role or about the organization. It could be anything. So prompt communication with the candidate is really very important. That shows that the organization is really interested in the candidate, and really wants the candidate to be a part of its ecosystem. And that's how you kind of create a sense of belonging right from the beginning as well for the candidate. And communication, it could be regarding anything. It could be regarding any silly thing also, like, is your organization working 5 days, or what is the reporting hierarchy? It can be anything. Two major questions, regarding the compensation, etc. Uh, give, just giving that response time, and keeping the response time low is very vital, is what I feel.
Great. Gaurangi, that brings me to the last question of this podcast for today. That based on your valuable experience that you've had in the HR landscape, if a new joinee was to join this beautiful world of HR, what is the advice that you would give them?
Sure. So I feel being open to learning is really very important, because when you say HR, there are various facets in HR, like talent acquisition, talent management, PMS, compensation and benefits, employee engagement, training and development, etc. So it's vast and it's really huge. So my advice would be to, dip into these various facets, learn about all the, if you get a chance, learn everything about, all these facets of HR, and understand what is your area of expertise, and accordingly build your career in HR. So in the initial years, definitely you need to be ready to get your hands dirty to, learn more and more about, any particular subject on HR. So definitely that would be my advice.
Thank you so much, Gaurangi, for spending time and being part of this HR
Thank
Champions podcast for all of us.
you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Ready to transform your hiring journey? Reach out to us today and let's elevate recruitment together.